Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the board game King of the Valley. It's fun and easy and also what's called a gateway game. That means it's perfect to play with people who aren't used to modern board games. Here's how it goes. At the end of each turn, a player has to refill all the empty spaces on this hill. As soon as you can't do that because there are no more tiles left, you finish the round and then the game is over. You take out this scoring pad to count up everyone's points. Whoever has the most is the winner. I'll explain how the scoring goes later. The goal of the game is to have the best collection of tiles in your own area. But again, as soon as the supply of tiles runs out, the game ends. If you have the most points, you are the winner. First, what is a round? Very simple. A round is every player getting a turn. You'll know who the last player is because the first player got this first player marker during the setup. Next, how do you play the game? What do you do when it's your turn? When it's your turn, you go through 4 steps. Step 1. If you want, you can pay money to take a tile from this hill. Step 2. You must move your own player figure in the middle here and take 1 or more tiles. Step 3. If you have completed a set, then if you want, you can take the bonus for that. Step 4. Refill the empty spaces on the table with tiles from the hill, and then refill the empty spaces on the hill with the tiles from the supply. So again, maybe pay to take a tile from here, then move and take tiles from here, maybe take a bonus if you can do that, and end your turn by refilling. Let's go through those in a bit more detail. Step 1. At the start of your turn, you have the option to take a tile from this hill here. There are only 2 rules for that. You can only take a tile that shows one of these people that you see on your own player board. There are a few extra characters, so you can't take those, only these people. And the other thing is, you have to pay for that. The price for each tile is written right next to it. Pay the money, and then take the tile. You can immediately place the tile under your own player board, under the space where it shows that same character. Step 2. You have to take your own player figure and move it. You can only move in a straight line, so left or right, up or down, or diagonally. And then you can either take the tile you landed on, or if your figure went over 2 or 3 tiles that are exactly the same, then you can take all of those tiles. You can never take the tile that you started on, only the tile that you landed on, or the ones that you went over. Take the tiles and place them under your own player board, under the picture of the same character. Unless you took the jester, he counts as any character, so you can choose where to place him. One rule about moving and taking tiles. In case you intend to move over 2 of the same tiles and take those, then you must end your movement after that second tile. It's possible you have room to move 1 space further, but you must stop if you're going to take the 2 identical tiles that you just moved over. Step 3. If you look at your own player board, you can see there are 5 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know this last one is made up out of 2 people, the farmer and his wife, but they only count as 1 category. If you see that you have 1 tile of each category, then if you want, you can take a bonus for that. You don't have to, but you can. If you have a complete set, you can take 5 money from the bank and one of these purple tokens with a crown on it. These are worth 5 points at the end of the game. You can also see this on your own player board to remind you what the bonus is for having a complete set. Here it is. After you've taken your bonus, you have to flip over all 5 tiles, one of each category. You still get points for them at the end of the game, but you can't use these tiles anymore during the game. If later in the game you complete another set, then again you can choose to take this bonus of 5 money and 5 points if you want. Don't forget that a jester counts as any character, so you can use it to get this bonus. You end your turn with step 4. First you refill the empty spaces or space on the table. You have to choose one of the columns on the hill, the left side or the right side, and then start taking tiles from the bottom to fill up the empty spaces on the table. After that, you refill the empty spaces on the top of the hill. If there are still tiles with a 2 on them, you take from that stack. When those are gone, you take tiles from the 3 stack. As soon as you can't fully fill up the hill again, you're in the final round. And that's it. That's what you do when it's your turn. There are some tiles in the game that have other characters on them, other people that you don't see on your own player board. I'll explain in a moment what those can do for you. But first let me explain how you score points at the end of the game. The scoring pad will help you. It shows everything you get points for, and so does your own player board actually. When the game is over, you can flip over all the tiles that were face down. If you have any jesters, remove them because they don't give you any points. And then for every queen you have, you get 5 points. Every duke is 4 points. Every countess is 3 points. Every knight gives you 2 points. Every farmer is 1 point. And every farmer's wife is also 1 point. But there's more. For every money you have left, you get 1 point. 1 money is 1 point. For every one of these purple tokens with a crown on it that you have, you get 5 points. You also get 2 bonus points for each set of farmer and wife you have. If you've coupled them together, that's extra points. And the last thing you get points for is the little icons that each knight shows in the bottom right corner. For example, this one that shows a little pink heart. If you have 3 knights with a little heart, you get 3 bonus points. If you have 4 knights with a little heart, you get 5 bonus points. If you have 5 knights with a little heart, you get 8 bonus points. That also goes for knights you have that show a different icon at the bottom, of course. And that's it for scoring. The scoring pad is very easy to follow. You can always look at it during the game. There's one thing left, and that's the special characters. There are only 3 of them. The wizard, the priest, and the tax collector. These are the only 3 that you can't buy from the hill at the start of your turn. They're not for sale. You can only get those when they're on the table. Let's start with the wizard. If you take the wizard, you can keep the tile with you. You can spend this wizard whenever you want during your turn. You can use it to swap one of the tiles that you already have with one of the tiles that are on the hill. Discard the wizard and swap the tiles. Then there's the priest. You use this one for extra movement. As soon as you land on the priest, you remove the tile from the game and place one of your money on that spot, and then you can move again. You could even move to another priest if you can reach him and do this thing again. At the end of your turn, when you refill, you just place the coin on top of the new tile. Whoever takes this tile also gets the money. So the priest is a resting spot before you continue your movement. And finally, you have the tax collector. You go for this one to get money. If you take a tax collector that says for money, then you take for money from the bank and remove this tile from the game. Easy. But there's also the tax collector that shows a number on tiles and then some money. For example, this one says 3 tiles is 5 money. That means you have to flip over 3 of your tiles of the same character, and then you can take 5 money from the bank. You remove the tax collector, and the tiles that you flipped over can't be used anymore. They're only for points at the end of the game. We're done. This is how you play King of the Valley. I told you it was easy, and it's a nice game to introduce to people who haven't learned yet how much fun modern board games can be. I hope you understand it well enough and that it sounds fun. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and see you for the next one.